Hi everyone. Okay, so today's day one in Victoria for the masks, and I went about my day as usual, and in that process I went into the shopping centre into a shopping like a Safeway, and sure enough everybody had their masks on. I don't believe I saw anybody who didn't have a mask on, otherwise I would have commented and found out if they were not wearing it for a reason, and encouraged them. And to the credit of everybody in the employees and so in the store, nobody actually gave me any hassles, which was lovely. Didn't know what to expect, although I did receive a number of comments off people in the store. And I had one lady, I was just getting my groceries, minding my own business, and I had one lady as she walked past made the comment, do you think you're better than all the rest of us? And another older lady, I had been making the effort to say good morning and so on to people if they did make eye contact. One of the interesting things is I've noticed that people seem to struggle to make eye contact with you. I can imagine that's for a number of different reasons. Perhaps I'll talk about that another day. But another old lady, I said, good morning, how are you going? And she said, not good, you should wear a mask. So I thought, wow, okay. I kind of knew that people would have a snipe, but funnily enough, even when they do, it still does have an effect on you. With all of my years of learning and adapting to things and feeling quite secure within myself and all of that, it was amazing to actually experience being ostracised for simply not putting a mask on. But this is how the system is designed. It is designed to turn the people on those that won't conform if they don't have the inner self-value, then you'll begin to conform. Okay, so now I chose to just ignore them if they spoke that way. I believe in respecting everybody's opinion. You see, if they take our right to an opinion away, then we really have no input and no value whatsoever in regards to bringing solutions to potential problems, challenges. Okay, and so if we all say the same thing and dare not speak anything different that we might think, nothing else can be brought to the table to make a change for the better, which is how they want it. They don't want us to think for ourselves. They certainly don't want us to speak for ourselves. They want to present the one and only path, and everybody's to obey it. Okay, so the aim of this video is just to help people understand what it's like as a human being, another person, what I'm experiencing with all of my skill sets, how I still feel the hurt when another person makes a comment towards me because I'm not conforming. And that's a normal thing. I want you to understand it's normal. We are designed in such a way where we naturally want to be accepted by others. We want to fit in and be a group. But we also need to be allowed to be an individual within that group. So that means we don't have to think the same way, speak the same way, behave the same way, and so on. So we need the balance of both. We need collective at the same time as individuality. That's a healthy community. But we're not being allowed a healthy community. It's being deliberately beaten out of us, is what they're trying to do with fines and threats and jail and things like that. Okay? However, a mature person sets healthy boundaries regardless, and they're prepared to pay the consequences. Okay? I've heard it said, different statements throughout time, give me freedom or give me death. Now that's a big statement, but it's one that I've decided that if need be, if we were in a literal war, then all our forefathers who went off to war, they gave their lives for the freedom of their family, if not for themselves. They wanted to come home. They weren't trying to be suicidal. but they were prepared to not come home in order that the rest of us could have freedom. So I'm not going to dishonour their sacrifice by conforming to something as simple as a mask when they went over there and gave their lives in tremendously fearful situations. I owe them at least that. So now how did I go about making sure that the staff and so on didn't even get an opportunity to turn on me? I work very hard at I make eye contact with everybody I can as I'm walking along without trying to do it too over the top, otherwise people will think you're weird. As soon as I kind of look towards them. If they don't look, I don't worry too much. Depending on the odd person, I might say, good morning, and then they kind of look at you and go, oh, good morning, which is a good thing. Others kind of look at you and then ignore you because they're upset with you, and that's okay. They have their level of maturity to adjust in, okay? I always smile. I work on smiling. Before I even go in, I kind of stretch my face, a bit. And it might seem silly, might feel funny and whatever, but it actually does a few things. It limbers up your muscles and so on and makes it easier to smile. It actually does create a release of the right kind of endorphins and things like that, so feel-good chemicals and so on. So it's a preparation, and singers understand it, so that's why they do their la 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 and things like that. Actors and so on, they all do it as well in preparation to prepare their body for what it is they want to be when they go on stage and so on. Now, I'm not suggesting we do it to be fake. We're not. We're preparing ourselves, like having got out of bed and warming up, and we're preparing ourselves to go out and be the best version of ourselves. Okay? And everybody loves a smile. Smiles are contagious. And when we're in an environment where everybody's afraid of contagious things, funnily enough, then I highly recommend that we spread smiles. Now, clearly, they can't spread them when they've got their face covered. And again, that's part of the whole idea of why masks are being enforced on us. It also takes away your ability to read a person's expressions and so on. It's much harder. You've got to be able to read in their eyes and so on. Are they angry? Are they scared? Are they whatever it might be going on? It's also, interestingly enough, the system's creating their own Antifa-styled people hiding behind masks. They can snipe at you and they could even assault you and so on, and it'd be very difficult to prove who they are, to hold them accountable. And that's exactly how they want it. They're creating an environment to allow the most immature of our community to have free reign and to feel secure in having a free reign on anybody who is willing to resist this system's direction. So anybody who got through today, chose to not wear a mask and got through today, I applaud you and I encourage you. I acknowledge you. Well done. To anybody who did wear a mask, that's not an issue, either because you believe in it. I'm not against people wearing masks. If they're afraid, wear a mask. Okay? You can only be as mature as you're capable of being mature. So I'm not anti-mask people. I'm not anti any people. I'm anti a corrupted system, one that is not designed to encourage people into the best mature form of themselves, but rather is working the opposite way deliberately. So it's attempting to, the system is using our current government in Australia to mother the people in such a way as to make them believe they're little children who don't, they're not mature enough to make good decisions for themselves. They don't know how to take good care of their own health, so they have to be told how to brush their teeth and go brush your teeth and get ready for bed. Things like that. It's taking your freedoms away like little children. Okay. Now the problem here is the government, the system, being controlling the government, and the government therefore is behaving in a parental type atmosphere towards the people. So the government, only instead of it being a good nurturing parent, See, a good, healthy father would encourage the children to mature, to grow up. So they would allow them into situations where they may hurt themselves on the playground or something, but not too much. Okay, so you wouldn't tell the child to stand on the edge of a cliff and try and get their balance. That wouldn't be a very good parent. That would be an abusive parent. There's two sides of a parent that are abusive, equally abusive. There's the one that is literally abusive by demanding that the child do things that would be hurtful or physically assaulting them and things like that. And that's because the parent isn't mature enough itself to be able to parent in a healthy way. Equally so is a parent that tries to mother the child in the sense of, again, unhealthy mother. There's good healthy mothers, but unhealthy mothers have a tendency to want to keep little Johnny safe all the time. All right, and then when Dad tries to encourage him out into the outside and so on, Mum tends to take over. Nope, Johnny's not going outside, it's cold out there. Nope, Johnny's not doing that. Okay, so they don't realise they're actually, they might believe they're being loving, but it's not actually about the child, it's in their own best interest. They're not mature enough themselves to be able to mother correctly, lovingly. And it's more about their fears of Johnny than what's in Johnny's best interest. And this is what our government's doing. And so going back into the store scenario, I try to be the first person to I attempt to make eye contact, and then I say good morning or something like that in a reasonably cheerful voice, and I might even say, hey, and how are you today? And if they reply positively, then I would say, they might say, good, thank you, how are you? And I say, oh, excellent, thank you. And sometimes I'll even say, thank you very much for asking. Because in today's society, it's usually, hi, how are you? Oh, yeah, good, you, or not bad. We usually speak down rather than up and then wonder why we feel down. So I've learnt to say very positive words. I'm excellent. I'm amazing. I'm fantastic. I'm on top of the world. You should join me up here. It's less crowded, things like that. And it has an amazing effect on people. It kind of shakes them out of their sort of this normal chit chat. I say this, you say that, very meaningless, very uncaring. I just have a little bit. I just love having a bit of fun. But I've learned that if you try and have too much fun with some people, they're not in a space to handle it, and then you go instead of having a positive interaction with them, they then look at you as though you're a bit weird. I've also learnt that going along and saying good morning to everybody also comes across a bit weird. So I might say it to every third person or so on. You've got to get your own balance. Learn to live out of your true self. Some of us who are more talkative will naturally get away with talking more. A quieter-natured person trying to overtalk would come across fake, trying too hard. A talkative person who tries to talk, who tries not to talk, would also come across weird, and so on. So just find your own flow and be happy in it. Okay, you'll bring your own specialness to the environment, and that's what we need. Okay, So I want to cut across to something else to just help people understand something. So if you're dealing with a situation where they try and bail you up in order to tell you that whatever it might be, you have to put your mask on, you have to leave, whatever. If it's an everyday person, I'd say, okay, no problem. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. I respect that, no problem. Thank you for your opinion. Be nice and so on, and just take the wind out of them. They want an argument. Okay, just don't argue. Don't argue. Think of what your purpose is. My purpose was to shop and get the food and get out successfully with the least amount of problem. Certainly with just an everyday person in the street. Just walk away. All right? Either say nothing or just say some basic little thing nice, like that makes them kind of walk away thinking, oh, wow, I shouldn't have said anything. That was a bit horrible of me. Because then next time they're going to not hopefully they won't attack somebody else. And that's if I take an attack and then do something nice to that person that softens them, then they're not going to attack you, is the hope, and vice versa. Okay, so we take a little blow for each other in a sense. Okay, dealing with the staff is a different story, depending on their level of maturity. Some staff are going to love this because they don't have any great authority or power in their job anyway. They're often being lorded over by immature managers and so on. Now they've been given what they believe is some authority, so they're going to start using it. Their lower nature, that immature state will climb all over other people. And so instead of being respectful to their customers, they're going to start abusing their customers more than the environment sort of has gotten to. So really what we've got is immature people, immature staff members, when I say immature people in our society, immature staff members, immature managers and owners, so therefore immature companies. Once upon a time, the idea was that the customer comes through the door, you treat them like royalty, you provide a great service and so on, great products, you be open and honest and sincere, and you sincerely help them get the best product, and then they pay you well for it, and it's a win-win, everybody's grateful. The companies over time have gotten more and more immature in the way they handle it. It's all about the money and nothing, if anything, about the customer anymore. So they give you the cheapest, nastiest product, with the least amount of service and the least amount of staff interaction, if at all possible, etc., etc. The training of the staff is atrocious in a lot of cases. They're allowed to get away with being disrespectful and so on, and then they wonder why people don't want to shop in their store or come and complain all the time and things like that. Then they want to blame the people. So any business owners that are out there, I would love to help you. If you want a better store, I'm more than happy to help you understand how to navigate through this, first and foremost, not to abuse your customers, and certainly not to abuse your staff in the process, but also to be able to run your companies in a way that when you come out the other side of this, people are going to flock to your stores over the ones that have been abusive. We will come out the other side of this, I guarantee it, okay, because I've seen the big picture. And what this is going to do, the ones who are going to get a big shock on the other side are those that thought they were going to get away with being abusive, the cowards that bent to the government and the abusive government. So I feel for you, don't get me wrong, I feel for you. If you're an employee and you're feeling pressured, I've had a friend tell me that numerous people at workplaces have called in sick today because they didn't want to face what they believed would be people like me who come in and are going to retaliate when they ask me to put a mask on or to leave, and that's not my intent. I will not treat people that way. However, I will take a stand if need be, and I'll do it as politely as I can. So if you see me and in your stores, please understand I just want to be respected. I want to be left to do what I need to do. I need to eat. That's humane. I need to buy clothes, etc. I need to have a haircut, etc. I don't want confrontation, and I have no intentions of giving you any confrontation. Okay? You're being asked to be inhumane. That is what it's boiling down to. Be inhumane, treat people horribly just because they won't conform, and make them conform or else punish them. That's what the system's trying to do, and they're using you to do it. Whether you're an employee, whether you're an everyday person in the street, they want you to snipe at somebody else. Whether you're a manager, they want you to put the pressure on your employees and the customers. If you're the owner, they want you to push down on everybody, and you're prepared to do it because you're afraid to lose your business or to be fined, etc. But for those that have courage and you understand what I'm saying, and you're a business owner, I'm more than happy to. I'm going to make more videos like this to try and help people in those positions. Reach out to me if you wish. If I can help you in any way, I will, and including coming in and training your staff and so on for free. I've decided that until we come out the other side of this, I'm not going to be charging people at all. My services are going to be a free gift. I've been given all of the things I understand from the universe, and I understand a very powerful principle: give and it will be given unto you. Okay? and at this time I have no right to be gaining financially off other people's suffering. So everything I do will be free from here on in until Australia is reclaimed. Okay? But I will have to prioritise. Obviously I can't help everybody, but I'll do my best where I can. Now, what I want you to understand is when somebody attempts to restrain your movement, your freedom of movement, then, and especially the police, you have been placed under arrest already. Now, the courts in general, if they're sincere, they will understand this. If just an everyday citizen says to you, just stand over there, like they've tried to do at Bunnings and so on, just stand over there, please, or whatever. If you believe you have to, then in your mind, at the very least, in your mind, you have been arrested. You've been placed in a box and you can't move out of it, so you're imprisoned. Okay? Now, if you haven't committed a crime, that's called false arrest. If you're literally put in something and restrained, like a car, or the police put you, transport you to a cell or something, then you've literally been false imprisoned. Okay? Now, my aim is to have none of you in a situation where you actually have to face that, but some of us will have to, and I've already decided I'm prepared to, if need be, to do this, to see this all the way through. If I need to go to jail, I'll go to jail. I've just settled it once and for all. There's no point being afraid of anything. So I've done it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have the emotions. Absolutely I do. I walked in there into the shopping centre and I had all of my emotions were racing, all of them. So I'm telling you that openly so that you will understand too. If you experience it, don't think that that's cowardice. Brave people experience fear and do the brave thing anyway. Okay? You do it despite the fear. You do it despite the emotions, regardless of. Okay? That's what makes you human. But you can choose to be a cowardice, fear-filled human, or you can be a courageous human, a brave and courageous human by taking control. That's what maturity is. Recognizing the true emotions you're experiencing and making the right choices anyway. Okay? So I'm fully aware that things will probably get to a state where people will take their mask off to spit on me. They'll give themselves permission to break their own things because it's simply a set of rules. Right? There's a set of rules going on. The police are trying to hand out fines. They're offences. Oh, so they're offended. Why are they offended? Oh, because I'm not playing by their rules. The government's offended that their citizens won't play by their rules. So the consequence, the punishment of offending their little feelings is a fine or to be assaulted by the police who are supposed to be our police, not the government's police. Okay? And that'll come through immature police officers, or perhaps they're mature police officers who are incorrectly trained. All right? So, and that's okay. I'm prepared to accept that if that's what it comes to. Because what I've realised is everybody is so pressed down and hurt and angry and confused and all those things. They are looking for somebody to take all that frustration and everything, all the unfairness they've experienced in their lives, they're looking to take it out on somebody. So I fully understand now, from the religious perspective, if we were to journey over there and when they talk about Jesus and him being put on the cross and so on, I now understand the concept of why he said nothing and allowed them to crucify him. Now, I have no intention of, I'm not wanting to be a martyr. I don't need to be a martyr. I want to simply live my life. Okay? But I realise that in some cases, in order to just simply be yourself and not hurt somebody, you're going to have to allow them to hurt you without retaliating. And others will even be nasty enough to try and then label you, oh, you just want to be a martyr. Okay, so be it. Again, that's another opinion. That's their opinion. They're entitled to it, even if they're wrong. Okay? I'm not going to put myself in a place to get hurt unnecessarily, nor do I suggest you do either. We're sensible and we're maturing. Okay? So mistakes will get made. because we can only do our best. Try to make the least mistakes as you can, because naturally they're going to try and use them against you. So don't fall for their tricks and fight back. Don't snipe back at them because they've said something that hurt your feelings. Maturity acknowledges what they said, assesses it, decides whether there's any truth in it. If there's none at all, then you reject it and just understand that's more about them than it is about you. Okay, their current state of immaturity versus your state of maturity. If there's some truth to it, even if it was said nastily, fantastic. Thank you very much. I appreciate that opinion. I can see some truth in that. I will make the adjustments. I appreciate your input. And you think to yourself, you could have said it better, but perhaps according to your level of maturity, you weren't able to do so with the pressure you're currently under at the moment. You know what I mean? Well, I don't understand what's going on in their life, so how can I judge the way they tried to get the information across? Etc., etc. Okay? Look, I think for the sake of the length of the video, I'll leave it at that. So I've given you a few tidbits on how to handle the situation tomorrow as good or better than you did today. I gave you a little bit of information about arrest. So you can say that to them when they try and stop you, like especially the police. Say, well, you've already stopped me. You pulled me over. You've actually already put me under arrest. Now, if I haven't committed a crime, that means you've committed a crime because you've broken my freedom to travel according to the law. Okay? Now, we're talking real law versus private law. Legislation is private law. It's actually generated from an international company, from people higher up trying to deliberately bringing this in to try and control us and to force us into a place to become immature and totally reliant on their system through the government and so on. It's designed to take police and so on into a situation where they will be abusive on behalf of the system or the people wanting to implement this system. So if you're a policeman, I do hope you'll start to grasp this. I've offered a number of police now my assistance in helping you understand how to be the best police man or woman. I'm willing to come into any police station. So if there's any police out there, I'm willing to come to any police station or to any location whatsoever where you feel safe enough to be able to hear the information. Okay? And the reason for that is that what you do not understand what's coming, and it's coming whether you like it or not. When enough people like myself wake up and understand how to do certain things, you are going to be caught in what they call contractual agreements in conversation and so on, but it'll be done on camera. You will be personally caught in the things you're saying.